Friends, today we are going to discuss second lesson in chemistry syllabus, that is acids, bases and salts. Let us discuss by taking some few examples that are very familiar to our day-to-day life. One is lemon juice. Second one is neem leaf or leaves. Have you ever tasted neem leaf? Of course, lemon juice, as it is summer, we generally prefer lemon juice. What is the taste of lemon juice? It is sour in taste. The neem leaf or neem leaves, they are bitter in taste. Everybody know this. They are bitter in taste. Why the lemon juice is sour in taste, or why the neem leaf or leaves is bitter in taste? It is sour in taste because of the presence of an acid, that is citric acid is present in the lemon juice. It is bitter in taste because of the presence of a base that is present in a chemical compound in neem leaf. That's why it is bitter in taste. That you know this preliminary information from your previous classes, that acids are sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste. And also you know, acids turn blue litmus to red, bases turn red litmus to blue. This is what we learnt in our previous classes. In our chemical lab or in our laboratory, there are several chemical compounds. For example, sodium hydroxide is there, concentrated sulfuric acid is there, hydrochloric acid is there. Can we taste them? No, we cannot taste them because they are very dangerous. How can one know what is their nature, whether they are acidic or basic? For this, to know whether a particular chemical substance or a chemical compound is acidic or basic, we have indicators. We have indicators. What is an indicator? Indicator tells us whether a particular substance is an acid or a base by the change in color. By some color change, you can come to know whether they are an acid or base. There are two types. One is natural indicators that you can prepare in your houses or homes. Second one is artificial or synthetic or man-made. You cannot prepare this in home. This you can try. You can prepare natural indicators in your home. Artificial, synthetic, though they are man-made, under controlled conditions we have to do this preparation. It is not possible in our houses. Natural indicators. What are the examples of natural indicators? For example, turmeric paste. Turmeric paste. Petals of petals of hibiscus. Hibiscus flower. The juice, the petals of hibiscus flower are grinded and made to juice, and the solution can be used as a indicator, natural indicator. And there is another indicator, litmus paper or litmus solution. Litmus is also a natural indicator because this litmus is obtained from lichens. What is an lichen? Lichen is nothing but it is a friendship between algae plus fungi. From this they extract this litmus, which is an indicator. It is a natural indicator. Then let us discuss artificial indicators. Artificial indicator or synthetic or man-made indicator. For example, phenolphthalein. Methyl orange. Phenolphthalein, methyl orange. There are two examples of artificial indicators. If you see phenolphthalein, it is colorless solution. It is a colorless solution. When added to acids, it is colorless in acidic solution. When added to base, it is a pink color. This is how indicator tells us by their change in color in acids and bases. For example, phenolphthalein, generally the color of phenolphthalein solution is colorless. When added to acids, it is a colorless. When it is added to base, it turns to, that is from colorless to pink in bases. Then there are also another class of indicators, olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators. What do you mean by olfactory indicators? Whose smell changes. Their smell changes in the presence of an acid or a base. Such type of indicators are called olfactory indicators. For example, vanilla, onion, clove. These indicators, these are examples of olfactory. Their smell changes in the presence of an acid or a base. This is some necessary information before going in detail to this in this lesson, that is acids, bases and salts. Now we will discuss one by one. How do acids and bases react with metals? How do acids and bases react with metals? How do acids and bases react with metals? For example, you see here one example, one fine example is discussed in our textbook. Zinc metal reacts with sulfuric acid. Zinc metal reacts with sulfuric acid to give that is here you can see, to give zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Here zinc is replacing hydrogen from sulfuric acid. Zinc metal, zinc is a metal, sulfuric acid, it is a zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas burns with pale blue flame. And let us see second example. How do a base react with a metal? Zinc, the same metal, again we are reacting with zinc, sodium hydroxide, which is a base, to give sodium zincate Na2ZnO2 plus H2. Na2ZnO2 plus H2. This is what happens when a metal reacts with when a metal reacts with acids or when a metal reacts with base. Generally hydrogen gas is released. Here you can see the release of hydrogen gas when a metal is reacting with acid and when a metal is reacting with a base. But important point, note, some metals do not liberate hydrogen gas with acids, do not liberate H2 gas when react with acids. For example, you see copper plus HCl, there is no reaction. Metal carbonates and metal bicarbonates react with acids. This topic is dealt with some few examples in our textbook. Metal carbonate is discussed by taking sodium carbonate is in solid state reacting with HCl, hydrochloric acid, it is aqueous. Hydrochloric acid, it is a hydrochloric acid gas is dissolved in water. That's why we are writing aqueous state. You are getting here sodium chloride plus water plus carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas. And this is one of the example that is discussed in our textbook. Second example is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Here metal bicarbonate is an example of sodium hydrogen carbonate, or sodium hydrogen carbonate is an example of metal bicarbonate. It can also be called as sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, or you can also call metal bicarbonates as metal hydrogen carbonate. It reacts with HCl, aqueous. It means HCl is a gas dissolved in water, that's why it is written as aqueous. Here you are getting same products as in the above reaction, NaCl, water plus carbon dioxide gas. If you see here, you are getting salt, you are getting water, and you are getting carbon dioxide gas. In both the reactions, sodium carbonate, that is a metal, sodium is a metal carbonate reacting with acid to give salt, sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide gas. Metal bicarbonate are, here sodium is a metal, this is a HCO3 is a bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate, you can call it as you like, sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate reacting with HCl to give sodium chloride, water plus carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas, what is its nature? It is acidic gas. It is a acidic gas. Therefore, it turns blue litmus to red. And it is a bad supporter of combustion. It is a bad supporter of combustion. And you know, solid carbon dioxide is used as a dry ice. It is used as a fire extinguisher. It is used in fire extinguisher that we have in our school. Solid carbon dioxide is used as a fire extinguisher, and it is evolved with effervescence. With some bubbles it comes out. It is evolved with effervescence. Generally, you can experience this when we open some thumbs up or Sprite bottle, carbon dioxide gas coming out. It is evolved with effervescence. Carbon dioxide gas is an acidic gas because carbon is a non-metal, and it is a bad supporter of combustion. It never supports burning, and it is evolved with effervescence. As it is an acidic gas, it turns blue litmus to red. Blue litmus to red because it is an acidic gas. And let us generalize this, our discussion. In general, metal carbonate or metal bicarbonate, or you can also call metal hydrogen carbonate, react with acids to give salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. This is the generalization of our discussion. So in detail, we have to go in detail regarding this by taking one fine example. Again, I am showing you this reaction. Sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate react with HCl to give NaCl, water plus carbon dioxide gas. How will one test the presence of carbon dioxide gas? Of course, it is a bad supporter of combustion, and it is converting blue litmus red, and it is used as a fire extinguisher. All these are necessary information regarding carbon dioxide. How will one test the presence of carbon dioxide gas in if it is released? This carbon dioxide gas is passed through lime water, that is calcium hydroxide, CaOH, taken twice, calcium hydroxide. When carbon dioxide gas is passed through lime water, you are getting calcium carbonate plus water. Calcium carbonate plus water. Here you can see it is an acid, it is a base. You are getting again salt and water. It is a white precipitate. It is a white precipitate. It is insoluble in water. Calcium carbonate. Generally it is a precipitate. Precipitate is shown by an arrow mark pointing downwards because it is settling down at the bottom of the test tube, or it settles down at the bottom of the test tube. This you already know it. When carbon dioxide passes through lime water, commonly you call this as a lime water. It turns lime water milky. It becomes this. Calcium hydroxide turns lime water milky because of the formation of calcium carbonate. Then if you in the above reaction, you got calcium carbonate water plus you got calcium carbonate solution, that is it is in water. If you pass excess of carbon dioxide gas, you are getting calcium bicarbonate. You are getting what? Calcium bicarbonate. It is soluble in water. Now it becomes a clear solution. Earlier you got precipitate, now it becomes a clear solution. So here once again I am writing these two reactions here. Carbon dioxide gas when passed through lime water, you got what? You got calcium carbonate plus water. On passing excess of carbon dioxide gas through this solution, if you pass excess of carbon dioxide gas through this solution, then you are getting calcium bicarbonate. Calcium bicarbonate. Calcium bicarbonate. It is a soluble. It is a precipitate. See, these two reactions are very important. What happens when carbon dioxide gas passes through lime water, and what happens when excess of carbon dioxide gas is passed through a solution of calcium carbonate? In this, what are the answers? When carbon dioxide gas passes through lime water, you get a milky white substance, a milky white precipitate, that is calcium carbonate. Through this solution, if you pass excess of carbon dioxide, then you will get calcium bicarbonate. It is soluble compound. It is a soluble compound. It is a very necessary or very important information for our public examinations. Generally, this type of questions will be asked in public examination. Now, let us learn some basic information. How to write the formulas of calcium carbonate. You know, calcium valency +2. Carbonate carries a charge of -2. We cancel these charges. Both are like charges. Then, what is the formula of calcium carbonate? CaCO3. Then, calcium bicarbonate Ca +2, HCO3. The charge carried by bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate is -1. Here +2. When you exchange it, you will get CaHCO3 because it is a radical. Enclose this radical in brackets. Then write CaHCO3 taken twice. Then calcium hydroxide, you know, Ca +2, calcium +2, OH -1. Exchange these charges. Then what is the formula? You will get CaOH. Enclose it in brackets and write this as the subscript. This is how to write the formulas of these compounds. You know, calcium carbonate You know calcium bicarbonate and you know calcium hydroxide.